for practice test here. On question number 1, notice my y's are the same, so I'm not moving it, I'm just reflecting it over a line. Well, that line is going to be halfway between -8 and 4. So if I go -8 plus 4, and I divide it by 2, that would be -4 over 2, which would be -2. Since it's got to be x, it'll be x equals -2. And on the next one, we're just reflecting it over the line y equals 0.5. So I'm looking at my y. How far is 1.5 from 0.5? Well, it's one above, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to say it's one above. So I got to go one below. So I got to go 0.5 minus 1, which would be -0.5. So m primed is going to be at -1 and -0.5. Now I want to look at all these transformations, so I'm going to actually do them. So if I take 7, 4, and I reflect it across the line y equals x, I'd get 4, 7. And 4, 7 is correct then, isn't it? So definitely that one. Okay, if I do the line equals 3, 7 is 4 above 3. So if I go 4 below 3, I'd be at -1. So I'd be at 2 and -1. That is not 4, 7, isn't it? Okay, if I do x equals 5, from -14 to 5, that's 19, isn't it? So 19 plus, I'm to the left, so I got to go to the right. So 19 plus 5 would be 24 and 7. So that one is not right. From -14 to -7, I'm 7 below. So I go 7 above -7, I'll be at 4 and 0, and not that one. And then from 4 to 6, I'm 2 to the left, so I go 2 to the right of 6, I'd be at 8 and 5. So the only one, although it says select all reflections, the only one that worked was the first one. Now, question number 4, because it's a word problem, it's not really drawn the greatest. I would give you a little bit of leadway here, but remember, you could actually use Desmos to get a more specific case. So let's use Desmos. So I'm going to look at, she wants to place a space A. So I'm just going to reflect A. So A is at -1, -1. So if we graph, let's get Desmos up here. And, nope, I want the graphing one. So we got a bunch of other stuff open here. Let me get rid of this. Okay. So if we do y equals, we said -x minus 3. So -x minus 3. And I'm going to reflect that point -1, -1. I like to see it, so I'm going to graph -1, -1. I'll put my A there. Okay. Now I'm going to reflect it. Oh, a lot easier to see in Desmos, isn't it? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reflect that point. So I know when I reflect it, it's going to be perpendicular to that line. So I'm going to graph the line. Let's do it in point slope form. So y plus 1 equals, my slope would be 1, so it'll be x plus 1. And it's going to be the same distance, so it's going to be right here at, looks like -2 and -2. Now, if you didn't use Desmos, and since it's a word problem, I made it a little bit harder. It was kind of hard to see that -2, -2, because it really doesn't look like it's going through the middle there, does it? But it is. So if you were close to that, that is, if you drew in perpendicular and you got anything close to that, I gave you credit for that. And that's the same. If I gave you a word problem like that on the test, and you don't have to use Desmos, or I say you can't use Desmos, then you could estimate it and that'll be fine.